Alright, good morning everyone. We are going to learn writing task 1, general training for the general training exam in the IELTS exam. Now today we're going to do an informal letter. There are different kinds of letter in general training: formal, semi-formal and informal. The recommended time given is 20 minutes, but I would suggest that you take around 15 to 16 minutes and spend more time on writing task 2. Now when you're writing this particular task, you must make sure you exceed to 150 words, because if you write even one word less than that, your marks are going to decrease a lot. So, for example, if you are targeting a band score of 7 and if you write a letter which deserves 7, then because you haven't exceeded the word limit, you will get 5 maximum. So, the three types of letters are formal, semi-formal, and personal letter, also known as informal letter. Now, the sample given here is definitely an informal letter. You would like to invite a friend from another country to visit your birthday. Uh, so there are 3 points given. Tell your friend about your birthday, explain why you want to visit them, and offer your friend your spare room to stay in. Now, so basically, this is an informal letter, definitely, because you're writing to a friend, and the purpose is also quite informal. It's for your birthday, it's not anything official, not related to your work or job application, or not related to anything in the community. So it's very informal, and the language you should use is very frank and very colloquial, very conversational, rather than writing in structured form. Because you're writing to a friend, it's informal. Okay, so now let's also try to understand what we normally tackle in general training writing task 1. The tasks might be quite varied. You might be asked to write about a new job you have started. In these kinds of letters, it can be a variation of formal, semi-formal and informal. So if you're writing to your company manager, it can be a formal letter. If you're writing, for example, to a colleague, it might be semi-formal. And if you're writing to your friend or relatives, it might be informal. And in addition to that, sometimes you might have to write a letter to say to apologize for a particular thing. So, for example, if you have done something wrong at workplace, or if you have mistaken something, or you've taken a book from the library and you want to apologize because you couldn't return it in time, you might also have to write those kinds of letters. Sometimes the letters might also have to be about invitations given out. For example, the letter we just saw here was an invitation for your friend to attend your birthday, so that's an invitation letter. And sometimes it may be about asking information about a particular thing. So these are the main kinds of letters that we often see. Sometimes it might be a little bit different, a little bit more complicated. We will get into that soon. But for now, let's try to understand how to write this letter. Because it's a friend, you must make sure that your style of writing is quite informal. Because when you talk to your friend, you don't use very difficult or very official words to say. And also, you need to make sure that the way you write is very friendly rather than very sophisticated. Okay, very friendly, easy to understand, easy to say. After that, let's see about how the different kinds of letters might fall into different categories. So, for example, a complaint letter. What do you think this kind of letter will be? A complaint letter usually, it should be formal, because you are making a complaint about someone else to an authority. You cannot just complain to the person themselves, right? So it's usually a formal letter. What about an invitation letter? If you have to invite someone, now, this falls into two or three categories. If you have to invite the principal of your school or college, it will be formal. If you have to invite a friend, it will be informal. But most of the time that we see, it's very informal or semi-formal, because um, you are inviting someone, you know that person uh, personally. So you have an option to write informal or semi-formal. Applications are normally formal because you're applying to somewhere and you are going to write it in such a way that follows strict grammatical structure and rules. So applications are usually formal. The choice of words has to be very, very precise. Request can be any style. Request can be formal, semi-formal, or informal, depending on the situation. If you're writing to a friend, it's informal. If you're writing to a colleague, semi-formal. If you're writing to your office boss, then it's formal. Now, apology is usually formal. Apology is usually formal, but sometimes you might also apologize to your friend. So in that case, it will be informal. You might apologize to your colleagues or to your co-workers. That in that case, it will be semi-formal. What about explanation? Explanation, it depends. I guess it can be a variation of informal or semi-formal. You explain why certain things happened, or you explain why you are changing cities. You're traveling from Dhaka, the capital city of Bangladesh, to Chittagong, the portal city. You explain that to your relatives or your co-workers, making arrangements. So if you're writing an agenda for something, if you're making the organizational decision. It is normally formal. If you're writing arrangements about wedding per se, it will be semi-formal. So again, it depends. It depends entirely on what you're writing. Giving information might be formal, semi-formal, or informal, depending on who you're writing to. So again, it all depends on the question, but most of these categories, you can actually find it very easily which kind of letters to write. Now, the sample we are looking at, in this kind, it's very simple to say or very easy to say that this is definitely informal. Before you start writing, you must definitely make a plan, because without a plan, you'll be just writing without even thinking. And without thinking, if you write, there is a high chance that you will have to rewrite it again later on, because some of the parts in your answer don't match with the parts you write later on. You underline the keywords in the question so that you do not miss out on any of the important points. So in this sample, the important words are: invite a friend from another country. Remember, it is not from your country, to visit you. They have to visit you on your birthday. And you are telling this friend about your birthday first. So if you organize this carefully, or if you plan this carefully, you will write separate paragraph for each of these bullet points, and then you explain why you want them to visit. So for example, maybe it's your 21st birthday, a very special occasion, or maybe it's your 30th birthday. You are going to be 30s soon. 30s means 30 to 39. And also, you must provide accommodation or a room for the friend to stay. So you offer him that particular thing. Now, make sure you have certain ideas ready by planning at the beginning of your answer, because if you do not plan and if you start writing, it's going to be very difficult. So answer some of these questions and then we can begin the letter. So friend or country, maybe it's your best friend, maybe if it's your school friend, you were not that close, but you are quite cordial with each other. And then country, it might be someone in an English speaking country, or it might be someone from neighboring countries to your country, or it might be someone from, I don't know, Europe, or it might be someone from South America, maybe Latin language. So yes, you have to decide on which country they're from. What about the birthday? Well, the birthday, well, it depends. It depends on you which birthday you select, but I would say suggest that you select a special birthday, maybe your 18th birthday, 21st birthday, 30th birthday. It's very easy to describe those because it's a once in a lifetime occasion, and you will be asked to provide sufficient details about that birthday. And also imagine that it's a real friend. So, like in this letter, I'll choose my friend Maria from Greece, who is a friend from college, from the university that I went to. We studied together, but we haven't met each other for a while. And it's my 30th birthday. So we are planning for dinner and then karaoke. Karaoke is where you sing songs after the birthday party. And why visit? You have decided to visit, or you have decided that your friend needs to visit you because you are going through old photos and you want your old friends to catch up with you, to reunite and share their life stories, what has happened in the last few years. And then about like how you want to arrange his or her stay. Maybe you can pick them from the airport, or maybe you can provide a guest room in your house. So planning is very important. If you do not plan, there's a high chance that you will not be able to write well. So how to write this? Well, there are different stages of your answer. The very first part will be greeting. So you greet the person, and once you've greeted the person, then you can begin. If you do not greet the person, or if you do not introduce the purpose of the letter, then it's very difficult to write the body paragraphs. So first, greet the person. You should always sign off by wishing the person, like best wishes, sincerely yours, thankfully yours, miss you truly. If it's informal, miss you truly will also work. And then greeting will be about how they are or how you are, and I hope they're doing well, something like this. And closing will be, it's like you close off the letter in such a way that you feel, or you show that feeling that you're missing them. In the body paragraphs, you basically explain the whole party that you're going to organize, and why they should come, why it's going to be an enjoyable experience both for them and for yourselves. And the purpose, well, purpose might be because you haven't seen them for a long time and it's a special occasion, so you want to reunite with them and spend this occasion. Now let's understand how to structure your essay or structure your letter writing, because without a good structure, there's a high chance that even though you write a good response, it will not fit together. And for this, you have to write paragraphs. So we'll go step by step. We'll first start off with the greeting. What kind of greeting do you normally know for informal? Do you say hi, or do you say hey? Do you say dear? You don't say dear friend. You say dear and their first name. You don't say their family name. You don't say Mr. and Mrs. You don't say friend. You have to specify a name. You don't say sir or madam in an informal letter. So you have to be very careful. And then when you write it off, the last few lines will be best wishes, all the best, see you soon, best regards. It will be very informal, very casual. It will be nothing formal. Okay. You do not write yours sincerely or yours faithfully in an informal letter. Now let's start to understand the purpose of the letter. Well, because it's an informal letter, you are allowed to make small talk. Like, you are allowed to initiate the conversation, for say, by saying some catching up, saying some things that you have missed out on. And then once you've done that, then you should start writing the opening of the letter. So let's try this. Dear Miss Maria, is this correct? Do you think this is correct? Well, I've stated my friend's name. I've addressed her with her first name, and then I've began directly with "How are you?" But I would suggest you write "Dear Maria" because you're not referring to someone formally or semi-formally. You know the person; it's your friend, so you have every right to actually state the name in the letter because you're addressing the person directly. Okay, and then you say, "How are you? I apologize for the delay in writing to you. However, it is my birthday next week. Therefore, I thought I would contact you to ask if you'd like to visit me." All right. So it's very important that when you write it in such a way that the style of it is very conversational rather than formal. Okay. Uh, Now, in this part, I apologize for the delay in writing to you. This is kind of formal, I would say. So rather than that, you can change it to informal. Sorry, it's been so long since I last wrote. That's quite informal, yeah? You are not using any structured language, any formal sentences or formal structured sentences. And then instead of saying something very formal, you say, I thought I would get in touch to see if you'd like to come over for a visit. So again, I've used a couple of linking words here. However, therefore, in order to link my ideas, that how my previous sentence is linked to the next sentence, these are very important words when you're writing. Because if you do not connect the sentences with letters like this or with words like this, then there's a high chance that your ideas do not flow, the ideas do not come sequentially. So sorry, it's been so long since I last wrote, but it is my birthday next week. So I thought, because we are writing formal letter, informal letter, we're going to use shorter linking words. We're going to use some contractions as well. Contractions means you haven't used the full form of the word, rather than that you have shortened it down. You have wrote it in a simpler, easier form, and these contractions are only usable for informal letters, not for formal letters. Now, for the body paragraph, we are going to write separate body paragraphs for each of these bullet points. We're going to include the main idea and give some supporting details, and we're going to make sure we cover all the points. Okay, so the first thing is, it's your 30th birthday. 30th birthday, and you want to celebrate it. You want to do something special. So, as it's my 30th birthday, I thought we could do something special. So far, the plan is two. So, what's your plan? Think about it. What's your plan? You just want to start a birthday party without any plan? You've definitely planned it out, right? Okay, so far the plan is to go out for a fancy meal at Ben's restaurant. Maybe this is the most expensive restaurant near your place, and then we'll go out to a karaoke bar and see where the night takes us. So you want to go to a karaoke bar, a place where you basically go and sing with different musical instruments, and then you haven't planned it. Later on you want to see how the night goes. How does that sound? So you see, there are lots of informal words. How does that sound doesn't mean the sound of it. It's like, how do you think the plan is, or what do you think about the plan? So I've used some phrasal verbs as well, like go out, and also I've used some idiomatic language, like see where the night takes us. So far, okay. So because it's an informal letter, you are allowed to use some conversational English, for say. Let's try to understand how to write the next body paragraph. Explain why you want to visit them. It would be great if you could make it over. I was looking at, because you want to persuade them to come all the way from Greece to your country. You have to write it in such a way that if they do not come, they are going to miss out on a lot of things, right? So it would be great if you could make it over. I was looking at the photos from our course graduation party. So you opened up your photo album, you saw the photos from your course graduation party the other day. So many amazing memories. Do you remember Rosie and Paul from the course? Well, they're getting married. They'll be at the dinner, so you can catch up with them too. So you remind your friend that this is not only a special occasion for you, but also your friends, and that if the friend doesn't come, they're going to miss out on a lot of things. Okay. All right. Next, we are also going to be writing about um, why they should come, why he should come, he or she, your friend should come. So it's very important that you give them a purposeful reason to come, and you persuade them. And then what about their stay and accommodation, and how they're going to travel to your country? Well, you invite them to your house. You're welcome to what? You're welcome to stay over at mine. Stay over at mine means at my place while you're here. There's plenty of room. We have a spare bedroom. And I'd be happy to pick you up from the airport. See, I've used a contraction. I would be, that you are more than ready to pick up the friend from the airport. Just let me know. So basically, you have written it down in such a way that you're having a conversation with your friend, and you want to make sure that it's both friendly and accommodating and cordial. You want to catch up with your friend, so you'll do anything for the friend to come. Just let me know what time you're arriving. I've used a lot of contractions here, a lot of phrasal verbs, as you can see from the red highlighted parts, and from the blue highlighted parts there are lots of contractions, or lots of smaller words instead of using the full form of the words. Now let's see the whole letter together. Dear Maria, how are you? Sorry it's been so long since I last wrote, but it's my birthday next week, so I thought I'd get in touch with you to see if you'd like to come over for a visit. As it's my 30th birthday, I thought we could do something special. So far, the plan is to go out for a fancy meal at Ben's restaurant. Then we'll go out to a karaoke bar and see where the night takes us. How does that sound? It'd be great if you could make it over. I was looking at the photos from our course graduation party the other day. So many amazing memories. Do you remember Rosie and Paul from the course? Well, they're getting married. They will be at the dinner, so you can catch up with them too. You're welcome to stay over at mine while you're here. There's plenty of room. We have a spare bedroom, and I would be happy to pick you up from the airport or at the airport. Just let me know what time you're arriving. I look forward to hearing from you. Best wishes. So, this is how you write an informal letter. Not too many difficult words, not very sophisticated sentence, rather a very conversational style of writing. Okay, so I would suggest that you make some corrections at the end. You spend like about 2 3 minutes rectifying or correcting the incorrect words or incorrect vocabulary that you might have used and improve the sentence structure. So on the IELTS test day, I hope this particular lesson helps you. And to be honest, the more you practice, the better you get. I am hoping that most of you will get your desired target score, but at the same time, I must emphasize on the fact that you should practice more and more letters. The more you write, the better you'll get. Okay, and get it checked by some professional examiner. Right. So that's it for today. Thank you for listening to me. I hope to see you again in the next video.